It's time for the LowcoSports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Arraj.
Welcome, everyone, to the LowcoSports Lowdown. I am Max Arraj. I'm alongside my good buddy, worldwide Wes Kerr. Justin Jarrett was off tonight. He had a softball scrimmage tonight for the Hardyville Hurricanes as they took on Whale Branch. That game was cut short as it took much longer than expected. Final score right there, Whale Branch 16, Hardyville 11. Tough night for Justin's team, although they had very encouraging first couple innings, but after that, not so well. But on the other hand, we do have a bunch of other scores to get to. But first, Wes, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy it's Friday. I am pumped for tomorrow, heading back to USCB for the final regular season game for the men's and women's basketball team. Women finishing up their season tomorrow, and the men still have another game to play. The question is, will it be in the friendly confines of the Cove, or will it be on the road? If they win, they will earn the right to host that first-round Peach Belt tournament game next Wednesday. If not, they'll have to get some help from Georgia Southwestern. So should be exciting. Should be interesting. We'll see what happens there. And it's like I said last night. I think it's the biggest game for that men's side so far. Obviously, if they keep winning, there'll be bigger ones. But to this point, I think this one is absolutely huge. The opportunity to not just they've already gotten their spot in the tournament, of course, but now they have a chance to really cement what has been a terrific year by getting a top 4 seed in the Peach Belt, which would be outstanding. But a lot of work to be done. Augusta is a very strong team. We'll talk about that later near the end, but I'm pumped about that and enjoying some beautiful weather. Got to go on a nice long bike ride after work, and just had a nice relaxing evening as we get ready for another busy weekend. We're on the low country sports scene. It's been a fun day.
Yep, and on top of USCB basketball, we also have the Beaufort County rec basketball, and now in the all-star phase for basketball. They have their district tournament, so teams from Orangeburg, as well as Walterboro and Beaufort and Bluffton will all be competing tomorrow as well at the Buckwater Parks and Recs facilities tomorrow morning. So I'm very excited about that. I'll be over there in the morning. Then I'll be heading over to watch some USCB basketball, and I'm very excited for that. Probably will be senior day for USCB.
I mean, it's their last home game. I assume that they will honor the seniors who will finish off their careers here. I know there's a few on the ladies' side for sure. And I'll have to look and see in terms of, because it's always tricky because you always some players in this day of college athletics. You have players marked the seniors, but a lot of them are return for their 5th year. So it's hard to really know. I don't want to single anyone out who's not going to actually be a senior who's going to be back next year. So we'll let you know when we get the list of seniors on tomorrow when they do the honor. They do the honors before the game or whenever they do them. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and it's just going to be. I'm pumped. I'm feeling the adrenaline already for that men's game. It is going to be a heck of a battle against a very good Augusta team.
It's going to be very, very interesting. It's probably one of the bigger games in the history of USCB men's basketball. And the thing is, you win and you get a home playoff game. And it's simple as that. You win, you get a home playoff game. You lose, you'll probably go on the road to play probably Flagler. So you want to get the win here. Now, look, Augusta's a very strong team, but we didn't have a bad first game against them either.
No, so that was actually before Christmas. It was in December.
Yes, first conference game of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
So, and I think this team is getting a lot better since then.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is when they're at home. I mean, granted, the loss against Columbus State, that was just a one and.
That's a really good team. Really good Columbus State team, and just that guy number 2 was just could not miss.
It's unreal. So I expect Augusta to struggle against USCB because whenever USCB is at home, like we've said all season long, it is probably the most difficult place to play in the Peach Belt Conference right now. When it's loud, boy, is it loud in there. Like it's just very difficult to play a basketball game in there. I mean, I remember the first ever game I went to go watch at the USCB gym was when you and I did the girls state championship game
Yeah.
last year for 3A, and it was loud in there. And then I went to a USCB men's and women's basketball game this season. I was like, oh, they turned it up another level.
Yeah.
It's even louder now, you know. So I have a feeling Augusta is going to struggle, and I think USCB is capable of getting the win this time around, especially with how the last time they played went around.
Yeah.
Granted, beginning of the season, beginning of conference play, really. So
Hopefully they have Kyle Pulse back in there. He has meant so much.
Kyle was definitely missed the other night against Columbus State, and I think it was a factor of them losing, but I also think the other factor was that number 2 for Columbus State was just on a tear, and it was hard to stop him. I mean, Kev Price would get up in his face and he'd still make a shot. You know, it's just how it goes. Sometimes it will be one of those nights for USCB where they play
I
a
mean,
team
tip your cap to Jarrett Adderton, who had a heck of a night, but at the same time, I mean, there was a point in the second half where they're down by just like 6 or 5 points. I mean, they're right in it, and then they had that run go against them where Columbus State just went back at him and took the crowd away and made a couple of buckets in a row. That was that. And they saw like a couple of threes in succession to really to wrap it up and raise that lead to double digits. So tough one, but hey, you still have an opportunity. You still have an opportunity to.
And for those of you who are watching us right now, please come out to our game tomorrow night. Come out to these games. It's
afternoon tip 1:30 for the women, and then probably around the 4 o'clock. You know, the schedule says 3:30, but most of the time,
if it goes to overtime, I just have if it goes to overtime, just expect a later game, regardless.
But I'd say on average, it's been around 2.5 hours after the women's game tips because they tend to go a little bit longer. And then you have the half an hour break in between. So it'll be around 3 to 4 o'clock starts for that.
Please, everyone go to USCB Athletics website. Go purchase your tickets for these games tomorrow. They should be really fun games. I have a feeling the USC women's team is going to play real tough against Augusta, especially with how they played against Columbus.
Nothing to lose. It's your last game. You want to go
nothing to lose. You know, so we'll see how they do. We'll see how the men's team does as well. It's going to be 2 great games. This Saturday, tomorrow afternoon at the Cove.
How about it? You know, you always say throughout the year, but there's nothing better than March basketball, and tomorrow we're going to get
nothing better. So please come out and watch USCB as they play their final regular season home game. And hopefully for the men's team, a win, and they get another home game for the first round of the playoffs. So I'd be very excited.
That would be Wednesday night. Not sure of the time of when that game will happen. If it does, so we'll let you know.
You know, when we figure it out, we'll tell you here on the LowcoSports Lowdown. That, or we'll find out on Sunday night and share it with you guys on the San Charcuterie one. So
I imagine those. I imagine those details will be given by the end of the weekend, since it's the last conference scheduled, the last day of conference games tomorrow.
Yep. So we will see how both teams do on Saturday, and hopefully USCB men's can get a home playoff game. Tonight's show is presented by our all-star sponsor and our original sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of HHCA coverage. Please call on the Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs. With that, sponsoring our next guest onto the show. Please welcome back from WHHI, Mr. Marcus Walsh. Marcus, how we're doing tonight?
Gentlemen, doing quite well. How about you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. We're excited to talk some spring sports.
And we got another guest
another WHHI
here.
member. The man
indeed.
Himself, Kevin Libby, who was apparently feeding his cats. Great to have Kevin on. Great to have Marcus on. The dynamic duo between those two. We've seen it firsthand, Wes, especially at the World Series last summer. So anyway, fellas, not a lot going on in the world of spring sports tonight. Obviously, basketball season has ended. We mentioned last night Hampton County lost their game against Andrew Jackson in a devastating fashion. as they were basically ahead for most of the game, tied it up going into overtime, and ended up losing that game to Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson will move on to Florence tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a Tuesday game, Tuesday night or Tuesday
game.
afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, it is right. That's right. It is a Tuesday. It's so weird. Anyway, so Hampton County's going home after their loss, and with that is a wrap on high school basketball this season. Unfortunate way to end, but very very happy with how all the teams in the area did. And so now we look towards spring sports. Now, not a lot of spring sports tonight. We had a scrimmage at Hardyville High School. If both of you heard, Justin Jarrett, the head coach of Hardyville softball, coaching his first game, technically a scrimmage against Whale Branch. Unfortunately, the Canes lost tonight 16-11. 3 innings. It took much longer than they expected, so they decided to delay that game and basically make it final after 3 innings, because by the time they got to the 3rd inning, I think they had spent almost 2.5 hours already or something like that. So, so that is the final score over there. Another score tonight, Hilton Head Christian Academy. Now, this may be the score of the night because, Hilton Head Christian Academy on the road in Richland at Thomas Hayward. Final score, Thomas Hayward Rebels 2, Hilton Head Christian Academy 23.
2-point conversions, touchdown, and a safety.
Rough night for Thomas Hayward. Yeah, rough night for Thomas Hayward, but I should also mention, to add to the pain that Thomas Hayward has gone through this week, they also played JP2's baseball team earlier in the week and lost that one 18-0. So in a matter of 2 games, they've allowed 41 runs over 2 games. So that's it looks like it could be a rough season for Thomas Hayward, and hopefully they figure it out. But that's rough, especially when you play 2 4A teams who are both probably bound to go to the state playoffs this season. So those are the scores I have so far. I don't know if there are any other scores. I know we had, according to our schedule, we did have a girls' soccer game tonight, Hilton Head Island High School.
I have not seen a final for that one.
Yeah, against Carolina Forest in the Viking Cup.
That's some really good competition for the Seahawks. That's a tournament they've played in pretty much every year. And
boys
they
soccer,
including there's some. Yeah, they play. Then tomorrow they play Spring Valley, and then they play Hammond, which is of course a Skeeza school. Who's also
should be interesting.
That tournament.
Does the Viking Cup? Does that come with horns? Like, can you wear it?
Maybe the champions get
like
some
trophy
kind of
if that's the case.
like
an actual Viking helmet as a trophy, that would be cool.
Yep.
Anyway, boys soccer, May River taking on Riverside in the Charleston Soccer Shootout, which is a huge tournament that takes place at the beginning of every soccer season. I believe the last I checked, May River was down. Misa sent us the score. See if I can find it here. While I'm finding it, Buford taking on Baptist Hill at the Whale Branch tournament. Hilton Head Christian Academy also in the Whale Branch tournament, taking on Hampton County. Hardyville in the Charleston Soccer Shootout. That varsity boys soccer team for Hardyville is going to be dangerous this year. According to multiple sources, they are looking like state championship contenders at the 1A level. So intrigued to see how that game went as they took on Gaffney. And then Palmetto Scholars taking on Colleton County at the Whale Branch tournament as well. So two big tournaments taking place this week.
From the Viking Cup, Hilton Head 2, Carolina 4. I forgot it keeps playing. I gotta stop it after one time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I might want to stop it real quick. I do have. Let me check and see. Where's Misa's text here? May River was down 2-3 against Riverside. They lost. They lost tonight. 2-3 against Riverside tonight. They were down 3-0 at halftime. So they lose their first game in that tournament, which, of course, I mean, Misa will tell you, and anyone else will tell you, the Charleston Soccer Shootout is one of the biggest high school soccer tournaments every year. So within the state of South Carolina. So they're going to have some tough opponents.
Yeah, Misa's getting
Max, you're crackling like crazy, man. I know
what's going on with my mic tonight. Hold on.
Crackling.
Give me a second. I'll be right back. Y'all continue to talk with yourself.
When is Snow Chase, Misa?
Yeah, as we were saying, Misa scheduling some tough competition early.
Mhm.
Riverside
Way to do it.
today. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Is
Those
that better?
those
Exactly.
Max, you good?
Is that better?
Yep,
Is it?
that's okay.
It's a little better. It's still not great.
I need to get a new mic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's crackling
Hmm.
really,
Yeah.
really badly now.
Damn, man. I don't like this. I need to get a new mic, but I have no money. Anyway, JP2 was taking on Colin Prep tonight for baseball, if I'm not mistaken. JP2 beat Colin Prep 6-4 was the final score, if I'm not mistaken. So another good win for JP2. They're looking like a strong team this year.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Searson provided that.
Yes, Jimmy Searson did provide that for us. The only other baseball game that I have not seen the score for yet tonight is Scholars Guild at Helmhead Prep. That was a afternoon delight today at 3 o'clock.
Afternoon delight.
Afternoon delight.
I'm not sure what the score was there, but
yeah.
I
So those are everything we had. Obviously, USCB baseball. Tough one tonight again on the road at Georgia Southwestern. Look, Georgia Southwestern, we know what they were like last year. They were a ranked opponent when they visited us last year. We won this series 2-1. And you hope they can figure something out, but that's another tough loss.
the first 3 innings were fine, but then the last couple, Georgia Southwestern was able to blitz them for they got 3 in the 4th and 7 in the 6th. And then they ended up finishing off the 7-inning run rule win 13-3 as it just kind of collapsed in that 6th inning for the Sand Sharks. Georgia Southwestern is able to come through with the runners on throughout, and the Sand Sharks just you've seen it happen before where it can snowball quickly for them in these kinds of games where things can not go their way, and it's difficult to sometimes respond against some great offenses. Fortunately, they get another opportunity tomorrow, but certainly not the way you wanted to begin this series.
Yeah.
However, some good performances by a couple guys at the plate, including Cooper McDaniel and as well as Jeremy Brown, who he's looked really good near that top of the lineup. He drove in a run, so hopefully they get a more consistent offensive performance and get a good outing from the Saturday starter, because Joe Turner certainly he looked good through the first couple of innings, but unable to really keep it consistent. And unfortunately, the bullpen did not have it tonight.
Right.
Yeah, and that's been a recurring theme this year for USCB baseball. Is the bullpen has been an issue. Like I'm not gonna call out any specific players or anything like that, because it's really a team. It's a group effort.
Yeah.
And so it's frustrating, but you hope they learn from this going into tomorrow's game. Look, again, that Georgia Southwestern team, very strong. So we'll see how they do tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm hoping they have one good game against Georgia Southwestern, because they definitely need one. They don't want to lose. You don't want to lose two series to start out conference play. It's just it's not what you want to have. So I hope they can figure it out.
Speaking of someone that played catch with Max this year, and my hand still hurts, Max, do you have any eligibility left? Like, could you turn into that back of the bullpen stopper we need? Wild Thing, are you out there?
Technically, I do have eligibility still.
Dynamite, Kevin.
I don't have any physical talent left in me whatsoever.
Oh,
Max you were a third baseman.
You're third, right?
Yeah, I was a third baseman.
Yeah.
That was my position. Some of the kids still think I throw really hard. I'm like, dude, I was much better when I was younger.
No, you could be a high leverage reliever who can throw an inning or two and provide some. Yeah, provide some.
Intimidating presence out of
on my own high school team this year.
Yeah.
My Hardyville Hurricanes baseball team. We're getting ready for our first game on Monday. So
yeah,
I'm
it's exciting.
Awesome.
Eligibility to the side for now, because I don't think I need to be playing for USCB baseball. I just feel like I make the situation worse.
But you're the assistant coach of that team, right?
I am.
assistant. Nice.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a guy on the Rays? Wasn't there a guy for the Rays that like threw batting practice and then like his team was like, "Hey, I wonder how fast you're throwing." He's like, "I don't know, 85." He was hitting mid-90s and they signed him for a playoff stretch. I'm just saying, Coach, get ready, Coach. Your time's gonna come.
I can't help but think of the movie The Rookie with you talking about that, Kevin. When
That's the guy.
Dennis Quaid saying, you know, how fast were you throwing? And he's like, I don't know, 90 something. He was throwing like 101.
Wow.
It was
The actual. I was gonna look up the guy's name. He had a sweet mustache.
Wow.
It was
Talking.
34, 35, 36 years old when he pitched his first ever Major League Baseball game or something like that.
Jim Morris.
Jim Morris. I was about ready to
Jim
say
Morris.
Jim Abbott. No, Jim Morris. Yeah, Detroit Tiger.
Boy, all right.
and
Before
company, yep.
we continue, let's shout out some sponsors. We welcome back Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks to the Loco Booster Club. Great place for seafood sunsets and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. Our presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, which very interesting episode, especially with Kirkpatrick there the other night. I encourage you all to go watch that one and just let us know what part was best, because Kurt had a couple the other night that were quite interesting. He likes to talk, and sometimes he likes to talk a little too much, but that's why we love him. Anyway,
It's colorful.
and our
That's all I hear.
yes,
Spicy curry.
and our new yes, he is spicy curry. He has his moments. And our new sponsor, Hilton Head Furniture, which was brought in by yours truly. Hilton Head Furniture, based on Hilton Head Island, of course, selling all-American made furniture that's high-end and very, very good quality. Larry Satola Jr. and the family have been running this business alongside their upholstery repair business, Just Cushions, for almost 20 years now. And we are very happy to have them as part of our new Loco Booster Club family. So thank you so much, Hilton Head Furniture, for joining us here on the Loco Sports, joining our family. So that will do it for our Booster Club sponsors. Fellas, not much else going on tonight, but we do have a lot coming up tomorrow. We have college baseball, college softball. We have high school boys lacrosse. We have high school girls soccer, high school boys soccer, and we also have some high school baseball taking place tomorrow, including, and to cap it all off, of course, we have men's and women's basketball in the Cove for USCB tomorrow night. So let me go over what all is going to be going on tomorrow. Obviously, Augusta will be joining us at the Cove to take on USCB. USCB baseball will play game 2 of their 3-game set against Georgia Southwestern. College softball will be taking on Lander on the road. Very solid Lander team. So hopefully USCB softball can find a way to win that series out. Boys lacrosse. South Effingham will be on the road at Bluffton. Hilton Head Christian Academy will be at Buford High School. Hilton Head High School will be taking on Savannah Country Day in Savannah. And then AC Flora will be traveling to the Shark Tank to take on May River, and that's boys.
That's going to be a great matchup. Two very
yes,
strong lacrosse programs around here from the area. So that should be a heck of a matchup. So
that could be they do have a state championship matchup. That could be a matchup.
Yeah, no doubt. Two storied programs in the lacrosse scene, and it's a statement opportunity for May River early. It's cool to see them playing, some quality schools to begin the year. That's what you want to see. So opportunity to really make an early, statement for if you're the Sharks and for Bluffton as well. Against South Effingham. That's a game they hopefully can compete in. And then Hilton Head Savannah Country Day is always also interesting to me after what Hilton Head did against Bishop England. That was a really nice win to start the season. So lacrosse off to a great start for these 6-4 or these 4A teams. It's lacrosse is different than other sports. You play you don't play in a certain region. You play as 4A as a whole, and then you get seeded based on the records of each of the teams. So it's a little bit different than other sports, but still lacrosse is fun to watch, and it's very competitive. 4A lacrosse is extremely competitive, and I think either of these teams, May River, AC Flora, or Hilton Head, could all make a run deep in April.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see how May River does because they really look strong to start off the year. So we'll see what they do on tomorrow against AC Flora. Girls soccer, Hilton Head High School has 2 games. Wow, two varsity games. That's crazy. Against Spring Valley and Hammond in the Viking Cup.
9:40 a.m. Their first game.
Yeah, what an early game. Golly. Then for boys soccer, the Whale Branch and Charleston Soccer Shootout tournament will continue. Hilton Head Christian County will play Colony County at 10:30. They must be playing. Interesting. They have 3 games set all for 10:30 at the Whale Branch tournament, but I don't know if that's happening. Beaufort High School will take on Battery Creek. That should be an interesting one. Palmetto Scholars versus Bridges tomorrow, and that is the Whale Branch tournament. And then it is to be determined for both Hardyville and May River Soccer on the Charleston Soccer Shootout. So we'll probably find out tomorrow from Mesa Garza's own and Blake Rayleigh what it looks like for those 2 teams come tomorrow. And then finally, Hilton Head High School baseball will be taking on Timberland, and Scholars Guild will be again at Hilton Head Prep for a noon light starting at noon on Saturday.
I am excited to see what this USCB softball team can do tomorrow against Lander. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Lander's a very solid team. They've been off to a great start, but USCB, I mean, you can kind of set aside what happened against UNC Pembroke. It was their third and fourth game in just 2 days. So, that's hard to stay that consistent and having to go quickly on the road and play those games. And that's a pretty solid Pembroke team as well. So for USCB, just got to reset and get ready to go because these are important games coming up on Saturday and Sunday. This is a 9-5 Lander team that has found some quality wins at points over the first. Although they beat UNC Pembroke 16-7 in 5 innings, and you can't really, transitive. You can't really say much about that. It's a one game sample size. You can't really say too much about that one. They won 7-6 in the other meeting as well. This is a very good Lander team, I will say that, but I think USCB can hang with them, and I think it all starts with Sierra Kinlaw doing her thing. She is such an important piece, and if she is on her game, it is tough to beat the Sanchez team.
Yeah, one of the things I'm looking towards finding out is if Mackenzie Ford will potentially be back for this series.
Yep.
I know they put her out for this week. I'm hoping she's back for this series. If not, we'll wait to see when she does come back because I know she's been dealing with, if I'm not mistaken, a wrist injury of some sort.
Yeah.
So I know wrist injuries can be very sketchy when it comes to how bad that injury can be. So we'll see if Mackenzie Ford returns. But in the meantime, Taylor Chang has stepped up this week for USCB softball, along with multiple other players, including Addie Reynolds, Chloe Turner. Tamai Whitlock's having a great year.
Taylor Chang has been sensational recently as well.
Yes.
Do not forget about Chang. She's brought that void in terms of her power that we've missed from not having 4 in the lineup. So she's been important. If she can continue her hot streak, that's going to be so important. The offense. And don't forget about Tamaya Whitlock and Saria Simmons. Those 2 were on their game, especially in that second game that you missed, Max. But they both had a multi-hit performance, I believe, and were instrumental with their speed as well and getting on and picking them extra bases. So,
yeah.
Well, for those 2 to make some impacts in this series because stolen bases are so important.
Wes, I love your thought about numbers because looking at Saraya's numbers, she's over 500 in slugging percentage this season. Like she's hitting the thing.
Oh yeah, and it's been just that lethal speed to get on with some bunt base hits and just that quickness to outrun some throws over there.
She is what you want for a leadoff hitter.
Hitting 475.
That's insane.
She's been really good this year. They've had some really crazy numbers. But it's not just offense. It's been pitching as well. Sierra Kinlaw's had a great season. Cassie Brundage has really stepped into her own this season. She came into the game.
Yeah, she had a heck of an outing the other day on Tuesday.
Like Kevin, she came into game 1 against who was it that was playing the other day? Fayetteville State with a 1.84 ERA to start
Wow.
going into that game.
That's
on the
really
season.
impressive.
Kinlaw's having a really good season. Cassie Brunich has really stepped into her own, and she's been a really solid number 2 pitcher for USCB. And that's what you want. You want that 1-2 punch when you're playing softball. And she's had a good year. Abby Ramirez has had a fantastic season as well. Just a lot of things. They're playing great defensively. They're playing great offensively. It's a lot. It's a lot to see and a lot to be happy about when it comes to USCB softball. And I have a feeling like I agree with you, Wes. I think they're going to have. Sorry.
Yeah.
Was that? No, someone's screaming. I have a great feeling about this series against Lander. I think they can get the job done, but it's going to take a lot of effort to get there against this Lander team.
Yeah, I mean, consistent pitching from Kinlaw and Brundage for sure, but just you can't make many mistakes defensively in this series. You have to minimize any errors or mistakes in a matchup against a great team like this. I think they're more than capable of stealing even a couple, even two. So I'm pumped to see that series. Obviously, they'll be on the road, but we'll be following it from our action in the Cove coming up tomorrow. We're from basketball. Another busy day, a busy weekend of USB athletics as we get the crossover, the final weeks of men's and women's basketball, and then really the meat of baseball and softball starting up with conference play beginning. Hopefully baseball can turn it around tomorrow against Georgia Southwestern.
Yeah, I was going to put this up. Andrea Alonso,
Yep.
a great friend of ours, mother of Tim Alonso, posted that May River girls soccer looked great tonight.
Awesome.
They lost 2-1 to Pinewood Prep, but they look solid. And Pinewood Prep's a really good,
Very
really
good
good soccer
team.
program. So that's a good sign
Thanks
to
for
see
the report, Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Andrea. She's great. I'm
Yeah.
so
Also,
happy
boys golf getting underway. I think Bluffton
gonna need
boys
to get-
golf.
we're gonna need to get either Andrea or Ray, or someone from the Alonso family to come on to the show one night.
Emily or
Yes, that
one
would
of
be
Jared's
great.
brothers as well.
That would be awesome, especially as we get into these busy spring sports schedules for May River and with all that,
Right.
with all the success they're having, we'd love to talk May River Shark Athletics and Low Country sports as a whole with them.
Of course.
And
Like-
we certainly miss our good friend Tim.
No doubt.
We do. We love you, Tim.
Max, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yes.
Where are you going to be viewing USCB basketball tomorrow?
I'll be
Indigo.
there.
I figure that you'll be there, but are you going to be?
Yeah. I don't have to work tomorrow.
on the-
Well,
Correct.
Max is normally right by the broadcast booth, right next to JJ.
Always sitting there. It's the best view in the house.
Yep.
Best view in the house. Anyway, so regarding softball, USCB will play at 3:00 tomorrow against Lander, and they'll have their doubleheader on Sunday, starting at 1. Baseball, rough one night, but they looked to try to get the next 2 games against Georgia Southwestern tomorrow and Sunday. Tomorrow at 2:00, and then Sunday at 1:00. So we'll see how that goes for both USCB softball and USCB baseball. That should be interesting. But anyways, how much time we got? Man, we're only 30 minutes in.
50 minutes.
We have 30 minutes in. We might get done early tonight, fellas. So let's see what else is going on through this weekend. Really nothing much else. The Charleston soccer shootout will continue through Sunday. There's a chance that both Hardyville and May River could be playing on Sunday. We'll see what happens there. That's really the only things that are going on this weekend. So basketball.
Yep. And then
soccer. And
Jeff,
lacrosse
what are
as well.
you up to this weekend?
I'm working. But if I wasn't, I'd want to know which game this weekend Sierra Kinlaw was pitching for the women. And I'll tell you why. Last season,
she might pitch 2 of them because let's see which day do they play 2 and which
We
day
only had 3 pitchers
they
last season.
play 1.
We only had 3 pitchers last year.
Yeah, and then Madison Murphy as well. She has been elite in her role closing out games, especially when the St. Sharks have a lead.
Yep.
She has been there to close out some of those ball games. So they play one tomorrow or one Saturday, two Sundays. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Sierra pitch both those days. The 3 o'clock game, and then one of the two on Sunday, either the first or the second one. I expect Cassie Brundage to get the other one. So I mean, you got to rely on your best pitchers, and I wouldn't be surprised for Sierra Kindle to get 2 of those starts.
Yeah, Sierra's got a 3.04 ERA. Of her 9 appearances this year, 8 were starts. She has 6 complete games. So if you want to see dominance, I feel like that stat line shows me she's capable of it.
She has gotten even better than what, and she was great the
Really,
last 2 years, but this season she has amped it up even more. Absolutely electric with her stuff. She's really picking up more strikeouts and just being more efficient over there in the circle. Really, really fun to watch, and excited to see them, especially next week. They'll be back home to take on Georgia College for their first home Peach Belt series, which will be streamed on the Sand Shark Game Day Network coming up next week. So already pumped for that. But this weekend's going to be huge, and it sets the tone. You want to start out, you'd love to start out with a series win, especially on the road, would make a huge difference. So it's a lot of the line coming up for softball. It's been a great start. Now can they keep it going into me of the season?
Hey, I got a question for Marcus. Marcus, tomorrow, are you going to get to the Cove early enough to watch the women?
Yeah, the plan is to be there for both games. I mean, I would do it just like a
1:30 tip off for
a doubleheader.
the ladies.
Oh, you're calling it, Marcus?
Tomorrow, but no,
You're not, you're just watching.
AJ will be on the call, or
definitely
founder LowcoSports,
both.
who is taking the night off. But I'm not sure who the. It's been Rob Benson for the women, the color guy. Then
a lot of times it's
been
Rob for the
Basirico
ladies,
or
and then either Rich
Tony
Basirico or
Red
Tony Red Bruin.
Yeah, good team of color guys. And Max did a cameo once, and he was great on there. So
And of course, Kevin
really cool.
filled in as
Yeah.
well, and he's
that's true.
he's a tremendous color guy.
Yes,
I
absolutely. We need more calls with Marcus and Kevin. Those are fun. Those are a ton of fun. We're gonna
You flatter us.
plan to possibly do some USCB baseball.
That would be great.
Coming up. Gotta get with Bracken on that.
The reason I bring it up, guys, is I want to talk more about the USCB women, because while the men are going to be advancing in the playoffs, I want to talk about what we're going to be. Well, we're going to be losing some seniors, and I think the dynamic moving into next season is going to be interesting. And I know I've watched every game they've played this year, and Wes, you've seen at least all the home games with the best perspective in the house. So
there's been a lot of exciting moments, and we nearly had one on Wednesday. We were just inches away from that last floater going in with that, which would have been a game-winning buzzer beater. Unfortunately, it did not go. Tough to see that, but man, they battled yesterday. And I'll tell you who the standout was: the sharpshooter from the corner, Sheridan Bostic, with 8 threes. I mean, my goodness, what a performance! They kept passing the ball in the corner, and it was like the Family Guy episode.
Double dribble. Going to 3. But Wes, I want to keep talking about these women because I get again the men go on to the playoffs. We're going to keep talking about them. For the women, we're going to lose 4 seniors, I believe. We're going to lose Shania Rose, the English Rose. We're going to lose Aria Garrett to seniority. We're going to lose Brielle Bartel, which is a really big one because that's going to be.
She's wrapping up her career, and she's going to be a big loss.
A huge loss.
Tremendous ball handler, great shooter. How many clutch shots did she have late in the year? And they weren't threes; they were just jumpers, inside the arc. And man, she just knocks them down so cool, calm, collected. That is going to be, and her leadership has been so important. So that's going to be a really tough loss to not have her be a part of this team moving forward. And then I love how you mentioned Shania Rose. She has been such an unsung piece, starting mostly every game. Great rebounder. Unfortunate to see some tough fouls get called against her Wednesday night, but she is such an important impact maker for this team alongside the rest of the starters. So, I mean, these are 2 players that were here from the beginning, and it's going to be, really sad to see them move on to their next chapters because they have been so instrumental. And but as much as we are going to be sad about those 2 or those couple, we are about to welcome in one of our own to join this program, Courtney Campbell.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Future Sand Shark coming up.
She is
That
going
is
to be
going to be
so
awesome.
good. I was actually reviewing in watching the interview that I did with Richard Barron and the Hilton Head Prep guys yesterday on the TV today. I was going through some YouTubes and I went back to the interview that I did after she got to her 1,000 points. Kevin and I were not only lucky enough and blessed enough to be there to watch it, but we were actually calling it in a game that Hilton Head Prep got smoked by Hilton Head Christian Academy that night. The highlight of the night was Courtney Campbell,
Right.
and I was going absolutely nuts.
I
on
was
those free
there and I
throws.
heard you when I was
And-
filming. Yeah.
I'm not
Yep.
surprised. And I obviously, went over the interview that I did with her, and I'm just so impressed with her ability to know what she can do. But even more than that, from a physical standpoint, she is a true consummate leader, and she is going to slide right in to this USCB women's basketball team under Sharon Versup and just see where she fits right in. And of course, she will grow because you're going from a senior in high school to a freshman in college. You're going to be doing that rung of the ladder all the way up once again. She will fit in beautifully, and she will work her way up through the ranks. She's going to be a terrific piece of that USCB puzzle. And as I mentioned yesterday, this goes for the ladies as well as for the gentlemen. We heard earlier in the year, back during football season, from Hayden Gregory during media day, and he said year 3 is a huge year for anybody in any situation, especially athletics, where you find out the most about your teams. He
Yep.
certainly found a lot about his Bluffton Bobcat football team in year 3,
Yep.
quoting the great Lou Holtz. And coming up, we've got year 3 of USCB men's and women's basketball. So
Yep.
I'm really
But you know what?
going to be interested to see what happens
And
there.
not only year 3, but it's year 1 as a full Peach Belt member, full D2
Absolutely.
member.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is another aspect.
You know what the crazy thing is? Ron Fadilla has learned so much in just year 2 with USCB basketball.
Yeah.
You talk about all
It's
the
crazy
wins
to
or
see.
all the games that they lost last year that they
Right.
found ways to win.
But
Because
it's just
they did
crazy
not have
to
a great
see.
they did
Yeah,
not have a
it's just
great
crazy to
conference
see.
record in year 1. They lost a couple of ones they really should have won. And now they're really starting to improve and get to the fact that we can win those close games. And
Go ahead, Wes.
yeah, I mean they're just learning how to win more in this conference, and we're seeing that pay off. Even just these last few games, that they've taken some losses, but the Aiken win was huge. Now it's just a matter of can they get some more on the road, but first, they had some stuff on the road this year, but if you can win this one at home, you get that home playoff game, and that is truly so important if they can get the job done against Augusta,
Right.
which I think they have every chance to. But this conference is tough. There are no easy wins, even against the lower teams in conference. That's why that Georgia Southwestern game is going to be great as well tomorrow against Flagler. Flagler needs to win that one. Georgia Southwestern is right now and on the bubble. They're number 8 in the conference, and the top 8 get in. So that's a big game for them as well. But just every team, even the ones at the bottom, there is no easy game. I mean, they barely got past Georgia Southwestern twice. Those were battles each time. It's a heavyweight fight every time. Pretty much every time you take the court. It's a great conference. It's a fun conference, but it is stressful to be a coach and stressful to watch. Stressful to watch these games.
I swear, it's taken 20 years off of me and Wes's life every time we go and watch them play. I mean, seriously.
I saw this last year in calling the doubleheader against the New College of Florida, filling in for JJ with Red Bruin, and I continue to see it in the little bit that I'm seeing so far of the ladies and gentlemen, but especially on the guys' side, on the men's side. Ron Fudala has so much energy. Obviously, you see it with the way they play. He almost reminds me, and this is going to be a really strange reference. Kevin, you may understand this. He almost reminds me a little bit of the Cleveland Guardians catcher, Austin Hedges. because you
I-
can just tell that he has so much energy and he's all for it. And Josh Naylor was another one. So much energy. They are all about the process and all about winning, obviously, but it's the unbridled spirit and the all-out passion, and you just see it on their face of how much fun that those guys have playing baseball and how much fun Ron Fudala has coaching
Yeah.
basketball, and obviously to work with the great folks at USCB every single day, let alone the mentorship that he has, I'm sure, from Sharon Versip. It's a great
Yeah.
situation that he's in.
It really is to have Versip there as, just not just a mentor, but doing great work with that women's program. She has been such an important
Yeah.
piece to how that women's program has grown just very early. And what a great hire, and what a great hire both of them have been. Ron Fielder, what a great team
Absolutely.
of
All right.
coaches.
If we're gonna meander, if we're gonna meander back into talking about women, can I give a hot take?
Okay, go ahead.
Go
Yes.
for it.
All right. So JJ said the most improved player on the women's basketball team this year was the Jackal, right? I'm sorry, no, Jigsaw. Tania Hayward.
Oh, Hayward.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So Tania Hayward, the Jackal, is, in my words, a killer spot shooter who cuts like a butcher. So
You're talking
that
about
was
Janiyah Hayward, right?
yeah, I'm talking about
Yep.
the cutter, the killer.
Yep.
So I think she's been a good spot shooter the whole season. She was shooting 40% from 3 points, the same as the Jackal. I think they were our two spot shooters, best spot shooters, besides maybe Bart and Gattosi. So I want to throw some shade at JJ because I don't think that what's the name again for this killer? I don't watch movies.
Right, Hayward.
Yeah. But what's her nickname? It's the not the Jackal. It's the other thing that kills. She said it was tough.
Catwoman.
No, Catwoman's
Yeah,
Gattosi.
that's Gattosi.
That's Gattosi.
No, she's Jigsaw. All right.
Oh,
Jigsaw,
Jigsaw. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I just said Jigsaw, man.
Originally Mighty Mouse, now Jigsaw. But my point is, I don't think
That's,
Jigsaw is the most improved. I think
that's the number one, right? That's the Mighty Mouse was Bowman, Tania Bowman.
that's where I'm going. So Jigsaw's
Yes,
Bowman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tania Hayward's the Peach
Oh,
Belt
yeah,
Freshman of the Year. Still waiting on a nickname. But anyways, I think is that what he was saying? Did he say Janiyah was the most improved player? Or was he saying that Jigsaw was most improved player?
Well, if you're talking about Jigsaw, that's Tania Bowman. That's
Yeah.
that's the 5'2" guard.
Right, not
She
Janiyah
has
Hayward.
Yeah,
Dude,
incredibly
she
agile
really
and can
has.
get to the rim without anyone seeing it. She's amazing. She's a great player.
My whole thing is, as we get ready for next year, like Janiyah Hayward's a great rim runner. She's a really good offensive threat,
Yeah.
consistently in the book. You got Jigsaw, who can spot shoot. Probably got to take over a lot of Bart's role.
Got Lydia coming back. She's just a junior.
Yeah.
And that's my angle, is Gatosi's probably the most improved player because she was asked to do the most throughout the season. She had to become, she's a very, very good post player. She's a great passer off the block, but she had to step out and become a distributor and even more of a slasher than she was before. Not just a pick and roll pick player, but also like a handler. She had to play the two guard off press. All I'm trying to get at is for next season, moving forward, we're going to lose the Jackal, who's our best shooter. We're going to lose Bart, who I think is our best floor general, and then we'll lose two excellent bigs. Who are our best players moving forward? Again, the boys are going to have a playoff series next week. We can talk about them going forward. For the women, I think Gattosi is the best player in the team. I'm hoping Wes will give some analysis to that. I think that Jigsaw.
I agree to you. Go ahead.
I think Jigsaw is the perfect complement, and I think that if Janiyah Hayward develops the way we hope and coming into her junior year, we could have the best big three in the conference if we do it right.
I think you're on. I think you're on to that.
I think you're on the side.
I agree that's you're looking at Gattosi, who's going to be that floor general, especially in the absence of a player like Bartle. You're going to ask her to play some more minutes, and along with some others coming up, you have Courtney. We'll get you to see what she does moving forward in terms of beginning her career at USCB. And normally there's an adjustment period that you have to make as you get into the college level, which is certainly a step up from skis of basketball. I will say that. But she's well trained. She plays club ball. She's going to be ready and excited to go here.
Yeah.
But
Madison Primo's coming back.
Yeah, they have a lot coming back this coming year in 25-26 for that big year 3, and I do think it starts with Lydia Gattosi. She has been your leading point scorer. You'd like to see the turnovers dip a little bit for her. and just the efficiency of this, like the average rate of those turnovers, because she can handle the ball even better, and she definitely can. This is her first year, with playing at USC. She
Mhm.
missed last year due to injury, so she has been great in her first year. But now you'd like to see her take a big step up in year two, and she definitely can do that. Shania Rose, you're gonna miss her with a rebounding. She has 93 offensive boards. That's the most on the team. Hayward's gonna have to take
Look at
more of that
Brianna
position.
Pelote.
Pelote, absolutely. Pelote's right there. She has, she's been excellent the glass, especially late in the year. So she's going to be a big factor. You look at Hayward in terms of those rebounders, those you know players with a little bit more physicality on this team, and
Mhm.
and then you go to the transfer portal and you try to add in a couple of missing pieces, potentially another rebounder or another sizable player who can make an impact in terms of defense and rebounding, and also you'd love another potential shooter with missing losing a player like Bostic, because she's right now you're leading 3 point shooter, hitting at 37.2%. She has been lighting up, especially that
That's awfully good.
3 point percentage shot up a bit after that last game. But yeah, I just think there are a few missing pieces that could make USCB a real time, big time contender, or at least a possible, possible team that can make a run next year in this conference. I think they're not as far away as you think, but there's some talented teams up there. So I expect them to take a big step up next year. It's just about finding those extra pieces to complement those standout players, those big three players, like you said. But it's going to be exciting. I think this team there's a lot of excitement to come, and you'd love to see them finish off with a victory to wrap up this year tomorrow.
Marcus, when you're in the Cove, you got to watch the last game ever for the Jackal, Sheridan Bostich. Look out for that 3-point shot.
I
And I'm
remember
gonna
her
make
from last year. She is absolutely lethal.
Yeah,
I got one more hot take for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy and appreciate number 4 Lydia Gattosi, because I think after that 28-point game,
or was she?
Yeah,
No,
her
I think
scoring's really turned on late.
played
She has been
last year.
excellent in just finding different ways to score, and her crafty finishing. It's been great to see, and she's been
hear me
shooting the
though.
three. Yeah,
I'm saying enjoy her.
That's what you want.
Enjoy her because I think more than any other player, she's likely to go in the transfer portal. So enjoy her while we have her.
It's possible. You really never know at this point. Yep. But
yeah, look at her stat line. She's absolutely going to get offers from other schools.
It's possible, but I mean, like I said, you never know what can happen in the off season. But I would think Gattosi would have a good shot of coming back here next year. I think she's really.
I think she has a good shot of coming back next year, because I think it's not just what she's doing on the court for USCB; it's also what she's doing off the court for USCB as well.
Yeah,
and I think that's like one of the main reasons why I feel like she might stay through the off season and come back and play next season. But if that's the case, I mean, the main focus would be to keep these girls healthy, and that's been, obviously that was an issue so far this season and last season as well, was having a fully healthy team. And that's what you really want to have going into year 3, because if you don't have a healthy team going into year 3, it could cause some issues. And we've seen that for 2 seasons already. But I have a lot of confidence in this women's team, not only for tomorrow, but for next season as well, because I agree with you, Kevin. I think they're going to have a really strong looking team.
They've really battled this year at home. They've picked up a couple of hard fought victories. They almost had another one on Wednesday. Unfortunately, just came up short by a point. But free throws. I think that was if they could have hit a couple more free throws, they probably would have won that game. And that goes true for a couple of others. So hopefully they can deliver that good performance on the line. They can drive, pick up those fouls, and convert on those chances and trips to the stripe. And then it's all the matter of, can they rekindle that strong shooting we saw down the stretch? And we'd love to see it from a player like Bostic finish off her senior career in a big way. We're definitely going to miss her. We're definitely going to miss Bartle's another player who I think is going to have a huge last game. I mean, she is going to leave behind a lot for this program, and a ton of memories that have been made here. What a great young woman that she is. Such a competitor, such a gamer out there. And I think she is going to leave it all out there tomorrow afternoon. And hopefully bring USCB one more win to wrap it up. So and then Rose, can't forget about Shania Rose, number 44. Love what she has done. All effort player, high level rebounder, and she is going to deliver a exceptional performance to wrap up her career as well. She is, like I said, like a more of an unsung player because it's easy to forget the impacts that she makes out there. It's the boxing out, her ability to pick up those boards, her ability to step in, defend, and then make some plays on the offensive side as well. Shania Rose has continued to be more impactful as her career has gone on there, and I mean she does a little bit of everything for that team. I mean, she only averages under 5 points a game, but the other impacts that she makes, they all add up to one heck of a player and one heck of a starter for this USCB team. Going to miss her a lot as well. It's going to be an emotional day for sure, especially for the women's side, but it will be for the guys' side as well because it's a big game. There's huge stakes on the line.
Yeah, the English Rose learned how to set a pick and roll with a lovely accent. And the final senior for the girls is Aria Jarrett, who I know doesn't get a lot of playing time, but again, a big who put her body on the line night in, night out.
Yeah, and we'll see what they do tomorrow night against Augusta. I have a feeling they're gonna give everything they have in this game because what do they have to lose?
Right.
Right.
So we'll see what they do. Before we continue, let's shout out our final sponsors. Base It Life, our baseball and softball themed apparel website and sponsor of LowcoSports. I'm not wearing my hoodie tonight, but you can
Little warm for that.
Yeah, a little warm from that tonight. Live your best Base It Life at baseitlife.com. Dr. Ambrose Cole, the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling the right mind, body, and spirit. The Reverend's Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the LowcoSports Grind. And a lot of wrestling that took place this past weekend, and we had quite a few state champions. So wrestling is growing here, and I'm very excited for that. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Floor's so clean, your feet will thank you. Great sponsor for us. And of course, Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Also, it'd be senior day for USCB men's basketball tomorrow.
Yes.
We got a couple, including Alejandro Lot, which it's gonna be. I'm gonna hate not getting to see him on the court.
It's been fun.
Buenas noches, amigo.
No,
Puerto Rico. Muy bueno.
I look forward to seeing him playing in the Puerto Rican Basketball League, which I hear he's in the draft for that. So
very nice. He's going to be a star in that league.
Yeah, he's going to be fun to watch.
No doubt.
He's been exciting to watch. What other seniors do we have? We have a few, I think. Let me get it up here.
Max, you sound so much better.
Yeah.
Your audio?
Without question.
Yeah, finally. I've had some issues with it this year.
Max, the seniors are Kenny Gaines. Your fifth-year senior.
He might be my favorite of the guys. I remember calling him last year.
Yeah, just like are they seniors or are they finishing up or are they coming back for a fifth year? So
it doesn't say that they're fifth-year seniors. So you're right. He could come back for a fifth if he's got the COVID eligibility.
I know this is Relat's last year. I assume he's a super senior. He's a fifth-year senior. So
he is.
Relat's a fifth year. Let's see.
But the rest of them are just regular seniors. Patrick Ariel, who I call patio furniture because he doesn't play, is a traditional senior, as is Kyle Pulse.
Yeah, you hope that Kyle Pulse will get back in the lineup. He's been a tremendous difference maker.
And then Patrick Ariel is also a senior as well.
Yep.
But neither one of those, except for Relat, are fifth-year seniors. So any one of them could come back next season.
Yeah, I have to wrap my head around all the eligibility rules now. After COVID, everything got jumbled up, and it's hard to know who redshirted or who gets an extra year, or like there's so many different factors now. So
yeah, so
with all JUCO rules, apparently it's going to make it even more crazy.
Yeah, obviously Relat will be recognized tomorrow, as well as the rest of the senior class. being if they decide to do come back next season, who knows? But we're gonna miss seeing Alejandro a lot playing
Yep.
in the Cove. It's gonna be really tough to not see him next season. What a credible year he's had, as well as this men's basketball team. Really been exciting to watch them play this year. Despite the fact that every time I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack watching them play because they're all so freaking close whenever they play in the Cove. Um,
Yep.
Especially that other, well, not the Flagler game. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think who they were playing that one night where the opposing team tied the game up and we went into overtime
Yeah.
and I had a heart attack. Oh, it was oh crap.
Like 5
It
games
was
with you.
USC
The
Aiken. It was
Aiken game, the
Aiken.
USC
It
Aiken
was
game.
Aiken. It
Yeah.
was USC Aiken.
Oh man, I thought we had
and
that
they
one on
almost
lock, and
had
then they
that.
made a three in with 2 seconds left or so to tie it. Thankfully, we were able to win it in
Yeah.
OT, but man, that was a stressful one, especially because we were in control. We were in control for the most of that game, and then
Yeah.
Aiken found a way to tie it right there at the end. So I expect we could see another tight one tomorrow. Hopefully, they come out with a win that would
Yeah.
punch their ticket to a home playoff game Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You could
Well,
also clinch with a loss and a Georgia Southwestern win against Flagler.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah.
which that game, I believe, is 7:30 tip. So, if Sand Sharks lose, may have to
Fine. gotta
follow that
watch.
one pretty intensely afterwards.
Watch and pray. Watch and pray is all you can do at
Yep.
that point.
Yeah.
So that's what basketball is looking like for tomorrow. Gentlemen, before we go, final thoughts. Anyone?
I've got a couple of big
Right, go ahead.
ones on
Go
other
ahead.
stuff. I teased it yesterday that there was some big golf that's going around, and I know Kevin loves hearing about golf.
Yeah,
But
we
a
had some
couple of
golf.
big tournaments coming up. Yeah, he's looking at me kind of funny. But big tournaments coming up this weekend, Sunday and Monday. And I was thinking about going out to this, but I'm not going to be able to make it. The Colleton River men's tournament going out in Bluffton at Colleton River. We've got Wake Forest, tremendous golf program on both the guys and the ladies' side. Jerry Haas is the head coach of that team, by the way. If his name sounds familiar, it should, because his brother, Jay, is on the PGA, and his dad was a longtime really good
Oh.
golfer as well on the PGA and the senior tours. I want to say his name's Billy, but I don't know that for sure off the top of my head. East Tennessee State University also joining, along with the host, Michigan State, the University of Tennessee Chattanooga, Cincinnati, Georgia Southern, who won the tournament a year ago, Indiana, Iowa, a couple of schools out of the Big Ten, Iowa State, Kansas State out of the Big 12, Memphis, Minnesota, and I think that rounds it out. Nope, I am wrong. JJ's alma mater, Missouri, Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers, and then Wake Forest. So that's going on Sunday and Monday here in Bluffton. And then on the island, Monday through Wednesday on the Golf Channel, and as well with coverage on WHHI TV, I will be at the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate
Yes.
at Long Cove Club. Last year's team that ended up taking the tournament title was Arizona State. They are back with the likes of the host team, of course, South Carolina. And then you've got Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Baylor, Duke, Georgia, Kentucky, LSU, Mississippi State, Northwestern, Ohio State, UCLA, Texas, Vanderbilt, and Wake Forest, all competing over those 3 days. It's tremendous golf. I've
Yeah.
seen a bunch of the schools from the SEC and the ACC over the many years that I've been covering the event, doing great things. Special shout out to Lindsey Finger and everybody else there at Long Cove Club for having us out
It's
once
a
again this
world-class
year.
event. A
It
world-class
is
event.
a world-class event. You are
Yep.
correct, Wes. I've been out there many times since I moved to this area for sure. 13th year for both events. So a lot of really great golf, as I said, coming up over the next few days. And Justin Jarrett's going to be a busy guy. He's going to do something that not very many folks get to do, uh, certainly in the broadcast community that
Yep.
I can think of. I can think of Joe Tate
Yep.
doing this, and that is actually calling in a case of JJ, it's a basketball doubleheader on his birthday.
Yes.
Happy early birthday, JJ.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday
actually,
to Justin Jarrett.
couple
It's
other
about 2
Pisces
hours
in
from
the
now, less than 2
chat
hours
here.
from now.
That's right.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing him and you guys
Well, you
tomorrow.
took that one from. That was one of my parting thoughts was happy birthday, early birthday to Justin Jarrett. But hey, I do have some other parting thoughts that I thought of. One of them is very similar to one that you mentioned the other day, Max Arraj. It was about the World Baseball Classic, which is coming up next year, and it should be a tremendous tournament as it always is. But I heard some news that just came out today surrounding the Team Dominican Republic, because it looks like they have found their manager. It's going to be Albert Pujols.
Wow.
Albert
Yes,
Pujols
I
is the
saw that.
Wow,
manager
yes.
in the
I like that.
2026
That's-
World Baseball Classic.
Yes.
That
I
is
have
going
to
to be
just-
fun.
I have to
boys
just chime in
Pujols.
real quick. JJ
Yeah.
just said he's turning the big 4-7 tomorrow. LOL. JJ, you don't look a day over 40, my man.
Yeah. Biggest compliment he's going to get, especially, well, he's definitely going to need that. It was a rough night for him tonight,
Yeah,
coaching as they lost
absolutely.
16-11. They were up, by the way. They had a great first inning. They were up 11-3 at one point. It just couldn't get going for the rest of the innings before they got off. But yeah, happy early birthday too, Mr. Jarrett. You haven't seen me without my glasses.
Oh, yes, I have. Oh,
Oh
yes, I have.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have. Anyway, any other
yeah.
requests?
That's really cool. I have some good history with Albert Pujols, in terms of, I got to, that was my very first Major League Baseball game. I was like, what, I was like 6 years old. Went to my first Major League Baseball game. It was the Padres against the Cardinals, and Albert Pujols was in the lineup. And the cool thing is, I got to see him many years later. I think the last year before he retired, I saw him play the Nationals in Washington. So,
Yeah, nice.
got bookends of his career almost, the very close to the beginning and then the very end. What a great player! He got a big standing ovation from even the Washington fans who were applauding him, and they appreciate his career. So that's great to see. So awesome stuff right there with Albert Pujols, and that's cool. That's a cool opportunity because you don't. How often does that come around where you're able to manage your country's team? That's a big honor. That's a big honor when you're asked to do that. Not many athletes get the opportunity to do so.
No, not at all. I'm very intrigued by that. That's gonna be really cool. Kevin, any parting thoughts?
Thank you, boys, for being with me. I love the show. Max, your aesthetic at your place is fascinating to me because I love good crown molding and a cranberry splash. So I really love the way your place looks. Wes, I want to get you back in that bedroom, bud, because that place you're in looks so sterile, except for one little.
I'm done with the bed. The bedroom is, I don't know. I kind of swap it around. Maybe I will at some point, but I want a more professional look. And I think that this is. Yeah, I enjoyed. I like all the sports memorabilia I have there, but I don't have as much here in this office space. But hey, I like it better. Maybe I'll switch again, but I like this better. So that's my call. But yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, we can. Well, we can get Wes some Warriors championship gear on discount because it's been a couple years now, Buck. So you beat my Celtics, man.
22. It's been a few
I know.
years.
You beat my Celtics. I'm not over it. That's the joke.
Anything else, Wes? Not Wes. Kevin. That's
Kevin. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead, Kevin. Did you have anything else?
Weird, beautiful mind.
Thank you. My last thing, and by the way, Marcus, I love your bobbleheads. I really enjoyed the middle of the season. JJ called me in to call just the women's side of the USCB ball this year, and I watched every women's game after that. And I just want to share how much fun it was to watch a losing women's basketball team this year because they're really good. And the difference between winning and losing is so finite. And in basketball, especially, so much of it is chemistry. And I've loved watching it progress among, Marcus and I have called high school sports for a decade, but to see it in the women's level where these women are making it a professional enterprise is humbling. And so I just want to say how much fun it's been to watch a losing basketball team and how jealous I am. You boys will be in the Cove tomorrow. I'll be watching it from home, envious of every one of you.
It's gonna be fun.
And
looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun day. over at the Cove. Marcus, you already went through your thoughts, didn't you?
I did.
You did. So
Yeah,
I guess it's my
any
turn
other?
now.
Yeah,
It's my turn. Yay!
yeah. Go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead.
Clemson baseball taking on South Carolina tonight. We mentioned it last night. Probably one of the greatest rivalries in baseball, college baseball today. Clemson takes game one at home tonight, 5-3 over the Gamecocks. They got out to a 4-0 lead. And so that game two, will be played in Greenville, if I'm not mistaken. As they will play game two at their neutral site, and then game three will be on Sunday at Founders Park. It should be really fun to watch. Clemson ranked 9th in the country right now. South Carolina is just on the outside, looking in towards the top 25. So two really good baseball programs that have a long history rivalry. So we'll see how that goes. The other thing was, if I can find it here.
Go ahead.
Was it here? I did see. So Army baseball. You know how a lot of baseball teams, if they're traveling cross country, they'll take a plane. Well, Army takes a plane, but a different kind of plane.
Ooh,
More
I
so
saw
a.
this.
If I can find it here.
I saw this.
They find.
Cargo?
Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go.
Cargo plane?
Right here. Huh?
They're taking a cargo plane?
Cargo
They
plane.
do.
No.
They take a cargo plane for flights and
did.
stuff like that. So the entire baseball team is wearing their military uniforms and hops on a big old cargo plane as they head over to whoever they play next, which I don't know who they're playing this week, but I'm sure that's a very, very fun and interesting way of flying
Cool team
to
plane.
a baseball game. Not bad. So
Very good.
that's it for me. Anyone else have final thoughts before we go?
Just wrapping it up. Looking forward to a big day at the Cove tomorrow. I'm it's sad to see this regular season coming to an end. It's been so much
Yeah, I
fun
know.
to be a part of USCB hoops, and hopefully one more at home. But if not, can't wait for November.
I'll say
Yeah,
this
Mhm.
as well. Kind of an off the wall thought. I was filling out a practice bracket for March Madness the other night.
Oh,
Look out for the Clemson Tigers. They
Yeah,
are
no
getting
doubt.
hot at
Actually,
the right time.
we
And depending
I
on where
wanted
they
to
fall
actually
in the
share that.
bracket.
I wanted to share with everyone. I totally forgot about mentioning this because selection show is not far away for March Madness. It's coming up. It's right around the corner, actually, as well as the conference
16th.
tournaments, which
Yep.
should be very fun. By the way,
see that.
Duke's biggest issue in the ACC tournament will probably be that Clemson basketball team
Ooh.
if they
I
have
would
to
agree.
face each other.
Yeah, I'm
If
pumped
any of you
for.
remember, Duke lost to Clemson earlier in the season in
Ooh, that should be a ton of fun
87-81.
if they match
So
up. Yeah, let's see. Clemson, who they have left? They have Virginia. Then they have Boston College and Virginia Tech. Those are solid winnable games for Clemson
Very winnable.
right now. Yeah, they should most
13th,
likely
they're
earn a
ranked
double
13th.
bye in the tournament if they haven't already, because they're a couple. Yeah, they may have. They're 4 games up. They probably have already clinched a double bye at this point, which is pretty
Yeah,
insane.
they have. They're
Yeah.
definitely the 2 seed. Duke's obviously the 1 seed, so they'll get the double bye.
Yep.
So we'll see. I do agree with you, Mark, because the thing I was going to share was I am working. If we can make this happen, what I want to do is have the entire Loco Sports cast and family members join us in one room to do a March Madness selection show on a Sunday night.
Well, we're gonna have we're gonna make a bracket league. We're gonna make a bracket league on ESPN.
Yes,
We're gonna have
I think we're
everybody
gonna.
here
I think we're
join us,
gonna
and
try to. Yeah.
hopefully some others, and anyone else who wants to join. This is going to be open to.
So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna see if we can make this work. I'm gonna talk to Justin about this, but I want everybody to join up on a Sunday night if we can clear our schedules on Sundays and on a Sunday and meet up before March Madness begins and the selection show have been made. What I want us to do is
Okay.
have no idea who's playing who. So we don't watch the selection show. We don't watch anything in terms of social media on who's playing who. And so when we go into that show on Sunday night, we'll get to find out for the first time who's playing who. I want to try and do that. It's going to be interesting, but we're going to work on something. But we do want to do a selection show.
Yeah, that might be.
Pick our brackets
That's
out.
on Sunday. Yeah, that might be.
That's
That
gonna
might be a little
be
challenging. That'll be a little challenging to do,
that'll
but
be very challenging
we'll
It will
definitely
be.
have a lot of discussion about
to
that, and
to
we'll have
have
yeah,
discussion
yeah.
and to fill
So
out a bracket's one thing, but to
yeah, that's
find out, you know,
yeah.
because
I mean,
it's
look,
5 days
we're
before the
it
tournament.
would be fun, but hey, that's
I
the
know,
job
but
of
I'm
2 days
saying
people on
before the
CBS.
tournament.
I'm saying
That's
the
the job
night
of the people
after.
of CVS and those guys who
Well,
have to work
we'll
the
figure something out. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to do a bracket show. I'll
Oh,
figure out how we
absolutely.
do it.
Yep.
But I want
You
what I
definitely do
want
the
to do
bracket
is
challenge. We'll
something.
definitely do the bracket challenge. I will set that
Yes.
up.
What I want,
Yes.
but the thing is, I want to do a show because I haven't done this in the time that I'm here, and I don't know if we've ever done it before, where we have everybody in one room.
That would be
With
fun. Hey, we
podcast
can
mics
still
and
do
everything.
that. We can still do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That week.
I want
That
to
week.
see what we
Yeah.
can do, but we're definitely going to do a March Madness selection show one way or
Yeah.
another.
Right.
I think
That would be great. Or something along those lines is okay. Maybe maybe do an old fashioned where you fill out we get pen and paper, and you get like the old fashioned way of filling out a bracket where you actually,
Yeah.
instead of using the computer, you write down your picks. Something along those lines.
That's how
Okay.
I do it. I print my brackets off and I fill them out.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
we'll figure out it. We're about a week and a half to 2 weeks away from even thinking about
Yeah,
that right now.
selection Sunday is the
Because they
16th.
have the
So
ACC tournament.
tomorrow's
as well as
March.
every other tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's
So-
March. The selection Sunday is the 16th. So in
By the
about
way, guys,
we can do, boys.
tomorrow is March 1st. It's crazy to
Mhm.
think that
Right.
we're already hitting the month of March tomorrow. It's
Cool.
just crazy to think about. But
let the madness begin.
we'll figure out what we need to do to make that show work. But I'd love to do a show where we all hang out and just laugh and make our selections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun.
No,
thing to
I'm
do.
down for that. It's just we'll definitely have to find a time that works for everyone,
Have to figure
especially
out
with a
logistics.
lot of us working during the day.
Yes, I know.
It's a little bit difficult.
It's
but
something. It's something to discuss. But
Yeah.
we will keep you guys posted on what happens with that, as well as we'll keep you posted on all sports that are taking place this weekend. Look forward to the USCB Sandshark Rewind on Sunday night, potentially with Wes Kerr and Bracken Lambert on the call. I may hop in, being at the games tomorrow. We could have Marcus Walsh, if he's interested, maybe hop on and talk some USCB basketball and what he saw on Saturday night going into Sunday night's Sandshark Rewind show. We'll see what happens on there. And then on Monday night, we'll discuss all that went down in terms of high school basketball and all low country sports that happened.
You're
over
done
the
with high
weekend.
school basketball. It's on the spring sports now.
Sorry. All high school sports that are taking place this coming weekend.
Although we do
including,
have the Skis All-Star game coming up this weekend to talk about.
Is that this weekend? Ooh,
Yeah, I believe that's tomorrow. The Skis
Look
All-Star
into that.
game. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe
that was
So
mentioned yesterday. I think.
we'll keep you posted on everything going on. Join us on Monday night for the Sandshark. Sunday night for the Sandshark Rewind, and then Monday night for the LowcoSports Lowdown. Hopefully, we'll have some insight on what USCB's basketball.
Hopefully we're
game-
getting ready for a home playoff game Wednesday. That's the goal.
that's the plan. And if so, we'll tell you what. Obviously, that'll probably be on a Wednesday, but we'll tell you what time it is when we get back on Monday night for the LowcoSports Lowdown, and we'll get you caught up with everything else that's been going on in the Low Country over this upcoming weekend. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you to all our sponsors. I appreciate all of you who are watching us, the viewers, for keeping us going and growing. And we look forward to seeing you guys out at the Cove tomorrow afternoon. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the Sandshark Rewind Sunday night, and then the LowcoSports Lowdown on Monday night. That's going to do it for us. From Kevin Libby, Marcus Walsh, Wes Kerr, I'm Max Arraj. And until next time, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at Patreon.